System Shock has finally received its second update, and it looks to be like a pretty good one. The game is also on sale right now for 55% off, so I actually really like this game. I highly recommend it. I am going to be doing weapon guides on the game. It's something that I neglected to do, but now that they patched the game, I'm kind of glad I haven't done them yet, so I can actually do them with the current stats of the weapons and so on. All right, so let's go over the update. What have they added? So a female hacker has been added, so you can play as the default male hacker or female hacker, so it's kind of cool. They did rework the entire final fight. So this was a common complaint with the game, where the final fight felt kind of weird. You kind of just like run around and shoot these things, and if you die, you respawn, and it was just like a strange thing. So it's a good thing that they reworked this. This was one of the really only like big things you could complain about for this game, and even then it wasn't really that big of a deal. But they did take the feedback and completely rework the final fight so that probably has like more logic to it, more of a flow to it. Previously, like I mentioned, you just kind of run around and shoot things, and you had to like destroy certain nodes and then like run over to the other nodes to destroy those as well. But this is a huge thing. This is a complete rework of like the entire boss fight. And then they also added a lot of things. All right, so they added new attacks to Alpha Strain, to Avian Mutant. Cyborg Diego has movement options. Cyborg Diego, I believe, is the boss fight in the bay area or whatever it's called. And I think the landing bay, I can't remember the exact name of the level, but it's like one of the final areas. And I'm pretty sure you can cheese him easily, so movement options should help with that. Continued refining enemy AI behaviors, this is good. Mission waypoints for easy mission difficulty. This is just helping players who are newer, who don't play on the higher settings. Better gamepad handling and implementation. I've never played this game on controllers, but that's always good. Major optimizations, so I guess there was some issue on Steam Deck. These will help solve those. Achievements are properly awarded when completing the requirements. I think this was a thing that I ran into where I beat the game on max settings and I didn't get the achievement for it. Now, I personally it doesn't really bother me, but I know some completionists were probably upset about that. Some first-person animations have been corrected. I would like to see what this actually entails. General combat speed balance adjustments across enemies and weapons. I do wish they were more specific here so we could see exactly what was changed, but they do outline specific things for other weapons and other items, maybe under minor changes, so we'll go through it. Credits added, improved quest logic behavior across several areas. Players can now no longer save over the autosave, so this is like a minor thing. Game over screen can be skipped, that's nice. That's preferable, especially if you're on the max difficulty. Recycle inventory screen, this is huge. So when you recycled before, you had a 3x3, so whatever you could fit in a 3x3 grid, you could recycle at once. They changed it so it's a 4x3, so now you can drop more items per recycling, which is just like a good quality of life feature. The max payouts is now 120. Now I don't know if that's total or if that's like per recycle. It might be total. If it's total, they seem to have added, they seem to have changed some things where they're making the game harder, which is interesting. But the max payout is now 120 credits. Either that's total or per thing, I don't really know. It might be total. If that's the case, that's interesting. EMP stun duration has been reduced. This was like one of the big things that needed nerfed. The EMP grenades are just so good. You use these on like almost anything and you just win. They just like on TF2 they called stickies wind bombs. They might as well have called these wind bombs for this game. But this is a good nerf. They were way too strong. Even then they're probably still like one of the best grenades. Were like really strong. Shodan will now block research room if the player fires the mining laser at Earth. Now I've done this before and I think you just get an immediate game over. I don't know what's supposed to happen, if you're supposed to get a game over or what's supposed to happen there, because I'm pretty sure you're not supposed to destroy Earth. I think that's what happens when you do that, but I don't really know what that does exactly. This is good too. Detox patch now has 25% protection bonus against environmental hazards while active. So there's a few areas where there's like toxic environments and like radiation and stuff, so this is very nice. Quality of life. Fix a soft lock that could occur when dying when interacting with a surgery machine. I'm unaware of this, but that's good. Items dropped inside of elevators should no longer disappear. That's a good quality of life improvement. Pathfinding performance improvements in flight deck and groves. I think in flight deck is what it was called, where you fight Diego, I believe. So in flight deck, I think and in groves, there's like these flying enemies that have a hard time pathing to you correctly at times. When they do path to you, they can kind of be a threat, but when they don't, they can get stuck on things. So this is a good improvement. This was like another thing that I noticed, but it's a good thing that they fixed this. Fix a case where the player is able to clip through the world by loading games while crouched. That is a serious bug. I didn't know about that, but that's interesting. Fix a case where plasma projectile FX would spawn every frame and wouldn't clean up properly. Yeah. Sometimes, so if you're spawning like a projectile in a game engine or something, and you just keep spawning them, you're gonna see like a massive lag. Because it's like a game engines update usually like every like 30 to 60, sometimes more frames per second. Especially like some of the physics engines and stuff like this. And it can lag your game, so it's good that they fixed that. All right, minor changes. Easier to see total counts of collected media. Added button to the entrance of security level to ensure you can backtrack lest it rest the station. That's nice. General FX improvements and tweaks. New artwork on monitors, that's cool. Enemy callouts and vocals are less frequent. This is nice because then enemies will be kind of... Hold on, let me turn the music down a little bit. Enemies will kind of like ambush you a little bit more. Maybe you like bump into an enemy and don't realize it if you're not paying attention. Better text sizing for all languages. I think they improved jump jet behavior. Color scheme of projectiles was tweaked. Sped up animations using dermal patches. Interesting. So I'm wondering how much they sped them up by. I think those are all of the patches you put on yourself for like healing and buffs and detox and things. So I'm wondering... I actually kind of like that they were slow if that's the case, because then you kind of have to be deliberate with it, but it's fine if they felt like you needed to be faster. Enemies who are near restoration bays will be teleported to their spawn location. Yeah, you don't want to get killed repeatedly. Save files are now counted incrementally. Okay. Fix-ups of various cyberspace levels and enemy placements within. So some of the cyberspace things... I feel like you could kind of get lost in, but I don't know. It's overall fine. Better handling of hacker death in unlikely scenarios. I don't know what that means. Showdown now has a surprise for the player when Diego is killed. That's interesting. I wonder if you get like ambushed or something. Total enemy reinforcements have been increased across all levels. This is a gameplay spike or a difficulty spike. That's good because I feel like the highest difficulty setting was reasonably difficult. But this should allow it to be a little bit harder. Reduced number of enemies that can bunch up in the same reinforcement volume. Okay. I don't know. I think this is like more of them spawn, but less of them spawn per spawn, like per volume, I guess. So like if a spawn triggers, maybe instead of getting like 3 things, you get like 1 or 2. I'm not really sure exactly what that entails, but enemies will remember the player for longer. That's good. This is actually a funny thing that happens in Fallout, where like you're playing Fallout or like Skyrim or something, and you kill an enemy, and then like 5 seconds later, the entire enemy squad just forgets about you. They need to remember you for longer. In this case, this game, I think it was fine, but enemy line of checks, including projectile collision radius, wherever possible, so the attacks fail less often. This is good because sometimes you could be like near like terrain or like a wall or something, and they would shoot at you, but they would be missing. This was especially true of the lasers. You could lean, I'm fairly certain you could lean around corners, and most things would try to shoot at center of mass and hit the wall and not shoot at like your upper torso and actually hit you leaning. So this should be, this actually might make the game significantly harder because you could kind of cheese things, but you shouldn't be able to, so that's good. Fixed an enemy ambush that wasn't activating properly in medical CPU room. The player comes back. Oh, that's cool. So there was like an ambush that wasn't working, but now it is. Kickstarter corpse tokens added to enemies. Nice. Enemy awareness on flight deck trap room after saving has been fixed. Diego AI adjustments largely in the first encounter. Okay. Cortex Reavers now perform a strafe jump to move quickly to engage the player. All right, these things already kind of rush you down, so that's going to be crazy. Mutated cyborg and tiger gorilla dismemberment have been fixed. Right on. This is huge too, this one right here. Cyborg mantis walks faster, sprints more frequently, HP increase. I did feel that Cyborg Mantises were just way too easy, so this is like a massive change that I'm happy to see. They were just too slow and their damage was okay, but they were just really easy. You just one tap them in the head with most weapons and they're just a free kill. So I feel like those getting buffed is good. Flyer bots now have auto cannon in addition to gas grenades. This is going to make these much harder. Striker bots now have a laser cannon in addition to homing missiles. They're making some pretty significant enemy difficulty increases. This is the highest difficulty should be much harder now. Flyer bot and striker bot textures have been improved. All right. Fix for hopper and mobile lasers not being able to hit player while leaning behind a wall. Exactly. Yeah, this was a thing that I noticed. I was like, oh, I can just lean. Dang, dude, this is a big update. Security bot 1 now has rapid fire attack pose. Cyborg warrior has moving attack similar to security bot 2. Okay. Cyborg elite guard head mounted laser attack damage increased. Alpha strain longer attack has a unique animation. That's cool. Scorpion. Oh, I love this change too. Scorpion default inventory size has been reduced from 4x2 to 3x2. So what that means is the Scorpion SMG, which is one of my favorite weapons. So this is a welcome change. It takes up 2 less inventory tiles. So if you want to just run this on your dude, like if you want to just carry this with you, it's now more compact, which is good because before it took up quite a lot of space. Assault rifle damage increased from 24 to 25. Okay, so a little bit of a buff to Scorpion and assault rifle. Plasma rifle now has animation to unload active plasma core. Okay. Then they increased the size of this guy's head from 1x1 to 2x2. That's fine. That's about what I would think it would be. Missing character portraits have been added. Cyberspace Ice Shield FX has been improved. Wire Puzzle has new FX to clearly indicate the required power level to solve it. This is good because a lot of people were just confused about this. And this was one of my best guides for this game. It has like 20k views, which is pretty sweet. But I like explain like how you have to beat it and stuff. Fix for circuit puzzle dead end nodes, filling from wrong side in some cases. Okay. Fix hole in walls and research tiles. Berserk patches now cost 5 instead of 4. So this is kind of like a minor nerf, very minor nerf to sword. In my tier list video, I've definitely undervalued the energy sword. It's definitely high S tier. You just have to use berserk patches and like slow-mo patches and stuff like this, and you can just run around whacking things for huge damage. But this is like a very slight nerf. Shotgun ammo cost in ammo depots has been reduced. So this is a slight buff to shotgun. Now I don't know that there's like a ton of these anyways, or a ton of these, because there's only so many vendors, like vending machines in this game that sell like shotgun ammo and berserk patches. So once they run out, I don't think you can really get more. You do have to beat the game within a time limit, but this does help if you're running these weapons. Loot table adjustments to reduce the quantity of ammo received from exec bots, flyer bots, striker bots, and cyborg enforcers. Some of these things would drop a lot of ammo, and it in a way did kind of trivialize the ammo scarcity, because then you could kind of go ham and just spam ammo, like just like spam a lot and be less precise. So this will probably force players, and even me of course, to be more deliberate with getting headshots and ammo conservation, and maybe use melee weapons more against certain enemies that I can get away with it. So this is, I think, a good change. Ammo adjustments in reactor alpha grove. So I don't know what ammo adjustments means. I don't know if they're reducing ammo or if they're just like changing it. If both of these reduce ammo, the game is now a lot harder, because now your economy needs managed better. Reduce the number of first aid kit. See, this is, dude, they're making the game actually pretty hard. This is interesting. Reduce the number of first aid pickups in flight deck, security, and bridge. So first aid kits are like the main way you heal in like endgame, I would say, because it just instantly heals you. They take up some inventory space, but they're a really good item. And reducing the number of them and the ammo is going to force players to be way more careful with combat and, you know, conserving ammo and first aid kits, because they're just more, they're always finite, but now there's less of them, so it's more pressure. Assign the correct idle animation to cyborg drones, no more hovering guns while they're charging. That's cool. Jump jets improvements while in low gravity volumes. Loading, okay. Loading save file restores velocity. Energy drain mines will no longer prepend multiple destroyed strings. That's weird. Barrel dispensers will no longer drop dispersed barrels when the player leaves and comes back to a level. Barrel dispensers. I don't know what a barrel dispenser is. Oh, okay, I think I do. Those things that, yeah, you drop barrels or whatever. I think there's only a few of those in the game. I really don't remember these, but they must be in there if there's a patch for them. Fixed for players losing low grav repulsor mods, switches certain weapons. Improvements to how enemy AI handles changes. You're changing repulsor lift direction. This is a huge thing because you could get enemies on these like gravity lifts. I think this is what they were what they're talking about, and you could like raise and lower them, and they kind of like, I don't know, they kind of get like, they don't get bugged out, but they're easy to kill on this. So I guess depending on what they do in response to being on these, because you could like, if it's a longer lift, you could lower them as they're going up and then they'll just go down. I don't know if they're going to actually activate the lift themselves. Repulsor lifts have been adjusted slightly to fix potential soft locks. That's good. Fixed for player being able to exit the Diego V1 arena by blocking the main doorway. Doors will more elegantly restore their collision rate or state when loading a save. Shotgun texture has been fixed. Shotgun shell. Krakos are no longer considered junk. That's good. I think these were a food item. Fixed for certain wall monitors not breaking when attacked. Fixed small animation issue with isolinear chipsets. Fixed sparking cable issue on maintenance. Some more fixes. Small adjustments. Potential issue. Gamepad support. What else? Any other things? All right, then the rest of it's just like major, like minor things. Implant tooltips will no longer display on edge of screen on certain display configs. Okay. All right, so overall, weapon changes, reduction in resources, improvements in enemy AI, final boss is fixed. The other bosses have been tweaked to be harder. And so there's new enemy attacks, new enemy AI, some boss fixes. Weapon balancing, resource scarcity, some major bug fixes, like the leaning to kill laser turrets. This was one of the dumbest things, because you could literally just be exposed and lean and just shoot it all day, and there was nothing it could do about it. It would just continue to miss you. But this is pretty cool. So we're going to be jumping in and covering this game. I'm actually streaming it today, so definitely look forward to that if you follow my channel. But thank you for checking this out. Definitely like and subscribe, and I'll see you next one. Peace.